Hello and welcome to Quiz Time. I'm Jess, and today I have 100 questions all about World War II. So, is that your specialist subject? Let's go. What was Hitler's father's profession? Customs officer, school teacher, or farmer? Customs officer. In which country was Adolf Hitler born? Austria, Germany, or Switzerland? Austria. Which city did Hitler move to in 1907 in an attempt to pursue an arts career? Berlin, Vienna, or Munich? Vienna. Which parliamentary group helped Hitler rise to power in the 1920s? SS, SA, the Brown Shirts, or the Gestapo? The SA Brown Shirts. What was the name of Hitler's book that outlined his ideology? Führer Manifest, Mein Kampf, or Das Reich? Mein Kampf. What was the name of the failed coup Hitler attempted in 1923? The Berlin Revolt, the Nazi Revolt, or the Munich Putsch? The Munich Putsch. Who was the German president that appointed Hitler as Chancellor in 1933? Paul von Hindenburg, Otto von Bismarck, or Friedrich Ebert? Paul von Hindenburg. What was the name of the propaganda minister who helped shape Nazi ideology? Joseph Goebbels, Heinrich Himmler, or Hermann Göring? Joseph Goebbels. Why was Hitler rejected from the Academy of Fine Arts, Vienna? He had no formal training, he refused to take the entrance exam, or his drawing skills were deemed insufficient. His drawing skills were deemed insufficient. What type of paintings did Hitler mostly create in his early years? Religious murals, portraits of people, or landscapes and architecture? Landscapes and architecture. Which country did Germany first annex in 1938? Czechoslovakia, Poland, or Austria? Austria. What agreement allowed Germany to occupy the Sudetenland in 1938? Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, Munich Agreement, or Treaty of Versailles? Munich Agreement. What event marked the official start of World War II? Attack on France, bombing of Pearl Harbor, or invasion of Poland? Invasion of Poland. What was the German strategy of fast mechanized warfare called? Blitzkrieg, scorched earth, or trench warfare? Blitzkrieg. Which country was invaded by both Germany and the Soviet Union in 1939? Belgium, Finland, or Poland? Poland. What was Hitler's primary goal in the East as outlined in Mein Kampf? Control of global trade routes, living space for Germans, or an alliance with Russia? Living space for Germans. What was the name of the plan to invade the Soviet Union? Operation Overlord, Operation Sea Lion, or Operation Barbarossa? Operation Barbarossa. What famous battle marked the turning point of the Eastern Front? Battle of Stalingrad, Battle of Kursk, or Battle of Moscow? Battle of Stalingrad. Which French region did Germany occupy after the fall of France? Alsace-Lorraine, Normandy, or Vichy, France? Vichy, France. What was Hitler's major mistake when fighting in the Soviet Union? Not using submarines, failing to attack Moscow, or invading in winter without supplies? Invading in winter without supplies. What was the Soviet Union's role in the early years of World War II? They supplied weapons to the Allies, they fought against Germany immediately, or got a non-aggression pact with Germany? They got a non-aggression pact with Germany. What was the German-Soviet agreement before the war? Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, Stalin-Hitler Pact, or Treaty of Berlin? Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. What city endured a brutal 900-day siege by German forces? Kiev, Stalingrad, or Leningrad? Leningrad. What event led to Hitler's declaration of war against the United States? German submarine sinking American ship, Pearl Harbor attack, or US supplying Britain with weapons? Pearl Harbor attack. What was the significance of the Battle of Berlin in 1945? It marked the beginning of the war, the fall of Nazi Germany, or Hitler surrendered? The fall of Nazi Germany. What subject did Hitler initially aspire to study? Engineering, military strategy, or architecture? Architecture. Why did Hitler's application to the Academy of Fine Arts get rejected twice? His failed exams, the written exams, he couldn't draw humans, or he couldn't draw buildings. He couldn't draw humans. How did Hitler make a living before his political career? Writing political essays, working as a journalist, or selling paintings? Selling paintings. Which war did Hitler fight in as a soldier? Franco-Prussian War, World War I, or Russian Civil War? World War I. What was Hitler's rank in World War I? General, captain, or corporal? He was a corporal. What injury did Hitler suffer in World War I? Broken leg, temporary blindness from gas attack, or gunshot wound in his shoulder? Temporary blindness from gas attack. What award did Hitler receive for bravery in World War I? Iron Cross, First Class, Medal of Honor, or Knight's Cross? Iron Cross, First Class. Who did Hitler blame for Germany's loss in World War I? Jewish people and communists, the British, or military leaders? Jewish people and communists. What was the economic crisis that helped Hitler rise to power? Oil crisis, 1936 banking collapse, or 1929 Great Depression? 1929 Great Depression. What was Hitler's opinion of modern art? He painted abstract works himself, he considered it degenerate, or he supported it? He considered it degenerate. Who was Hitler's closest military commander? Erwin Rommel, Hermann Göring, or Heinrich Himmler? Hermann Göring. What was the name of Hitler's secret bunker in Berlin? Führer Bunker, Eagle's Nest, or Wolf's Lair? Führer Bunker. What was Hitler's final decision in April 1945? Surrender to the Allies, escape to Argentina, or end his life? End his life. What was Hitler's primary method of propaganda? Handwritten pamphlets, radio broadcasts, or public graffiti? Radio broadcasts. What symbol did Hitler use to represent Nazi ideology? The swastika, the hammer and sickle, or the black sun? The swastika. What year did Japan officially annex Korea, marking the start of its occupation? 1910, 1931, or 1905? 1910. What was the name of the forced labour system Japan imposed on Koreans during World War II? Nanjing Policy, Greater East Asia Plan, or National Mobilization Law? National Mobilization Law. What was the main reason Japan colonized Korea before World War II? Defensive barrier against China, to spread Buddhism, or to gain access to labour and resources? To gain access to labour and resources. What was the name of the Korean independence movement that resisted Japanese rule? Gwangbok Struggle, March First Movement, or Blue Dragon Society? March First Movement. Which country helped Korean independence fighters resist Japan during World War II? United States, Soviet Union, or China? Soviet Union. Who was the leader of the Korean Provisional Government during World War II? Syngman Rhee, Park Chung-hee, or Kim Il-sung? Syngman Rhee. What agreement at the end of World War II led to Korea being divided into North and South? Cairo Accord, Potsdam Declaration, or Yalta Conference? Yalta Conference. What was the primary motivation for Japan's occupation of Korea? To spread democracy, manpower and resources for its empire, or to counter European influence in Asia? Manpower and resources for its empire. What major battlefront did many Korean forced labourers serve in the Japanese army? Manchurian Front, Pacific Islands Campaign, or Battle of Iwo Jima? Manchurian Front. What was the first major city in the United States bombed with an atomic bomb? Nagasaki, Hiroshima, or Tokyo? Hiroshima. What was the name of the US project that developed the atomic bomb? Manhattan Project, Apollo Project, or Mercury Program? Manhattan Project. What was the name of the plane that dropped the first atomic bomb? Enola Gay, Boxcar, or Little Boy? Enola Gay. What was the primary justification for the US dropping atomic bombs on Japan? To warn the Soviet Union, force Japan's surrender without land invasion, or to avenge Pearl Harbor? Force Japan's surrender without land invasion. How many days after Hiroshima was the second atomic bomb dropped on Nagasaki? 2 days, 3 days, or 5 days? 3 days. What was Japan's reaction immediately after the bombing of Hiroshima? Refusal to surrender, negotiations for a peace treaty, or immediate surrender? Refusal to surrender. What percentage of Hiroshima's buildings were destroyed by the atomic bomb? 50%, 70%, or 90%? 70%. Which nation declared war on Japan just days before its surrender in 1945? United Kingdom, Soviet Union, or China? Soviet Union. What was the last major conventional bombing attack on Japan before the atomic bombs? Okinawa air raid, Tokyo firebombing, or Battle of Midway? Tokyo firebombing. What was Japan's initial response to the Potsdam Declaration demanding their surrender? They ignored it, they accepted it, or they launched a counterattack? They ignored it. What event marked Japan's full-scale invasion of China in 1937? Mukden Incident, Pearl Harbor Attack, or Marco Polo Bridge Incident? Marco Polo Bridge Incident. What was the name of the puppet state Japan established in China? Taiwan, Inner Mongolia, or Manchukuo? Manchukuo. What infamous event in 1937 involved mass atrocities committed by Japan against Chinese civilians? Battle of Shanghai, Nanjing Massacre, or Fall of Beijing? Nanjing Massacre. What did the US impose on Japan in response to their aggression in Asia before World War II? A peace agreement, a military blockade, or economic sanctions? Economic sanctions. What resource was Japan severely lacking, which contributed to its decision to go to war? Timber, oil, or coal? Oil. What US naval base did Japan attack to start direct conflict with America? Guam, Midway, or Pearl Harbor? Pearl Harbor. What was Japan's justification for expanding into Southeast Asia? To liberate Asia from Western influence, to secure alliances with China, or to create Greater East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere? Create Greater East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere. What was the first country Japan invaded during its Pacific expansion? China, Philippines, or Korea? China. What agreement between Germany and Japan promised cooperation against the Allies? Anti-Allied Treaty, Tripartite Pact, or Axis Resolution? Tripartite Pact. What was the military strategy Japan used to capture the Pacific Islands? Leapfrogging, island hopping, or blitzkrieg? Leapfrogging. Who was the Emperor of Japan during World War II? Emperor Meiji, Emperor Taisho, or Emperor Hirohito? Emperor Hirohito. Who was the Prime Minister of Japan during most of World War II? Hideki Tojo, Isoroku Yamamoto, or Fumaro Kono? Hideki Tojo. Who was the Supreme Commander of the Allied forces in the Pacific? Douglas MacArthur, Dwight Eisenhower, or Chester Nimitz? Douglas MacArthur. What general led Chinese resistance against Japan? Sun Yat-sen, Mao Zedong, or Chiang Kai-shek? Chiang Kai-shek. What Soviet leader declared war on Japan in 1945? Joseph Stalin, Nikita Khrushchev, or Vladimir Lenin? Joseph Stalin. Which scientist is considered the father of the atomic bomb? Albert Einstein, Enrico Fermi, or Robert Oppenheimer? Robert Oppenheimer. Who was the US president who authorized the use of atomic bombs? Franklin Roosevelt, Dwight Eisenhower, or Harry Truman? Harry Truman. What was the name of the Japanese admiral who planned the Pearl Harbor attack? Hideki Tojo, Isoroku Yamamoto, or Tomoyuki Yamashita? Isoroku Yamamoto. What was the name of the Japanese military code that encouraged soldiers to fight to the death? Bushido, Kamikaze, or Seppuku? Bushido. What treaty officially ended the war between Japan and the Allies? Treaty of Versailles, Geneva Convention, or Treaty of San Francisco? Treaty of San Francisco. What major technological advancement emerged in response to the Cold War tensions that followed World War II? Invention of steam-powered ships, widespread use of horses in military operations, or nuclear weapons and space exploration? Nuclear weapons and space exploration. What was the main goal of the Marshall Plan introduced by the US after World War II? Provide military aid to former Axis powers, force European countries to adapt to democracy, or help rebuild war-torn European economies? Help rebuild war-torn European economies. Which country was divided into 4 occupation zones controlled by the US, UK, France, and the Soviet Union after World War II? Italy, Germany, or Poland? Germany. What international organisation was formed in 1945 to prevent future global conflicts? The European Union, the League of Nations, or the United Nations? The United Nations. Which 2 countries emerged as superpowers after World War II? Germany and Japan, United Kingdom and France, or United States and Soviet Union? United States and Soviet Union. The creation of which military alliance in 1949 was meant to protect Western European countries from Soviet influence? European Defence League, Warsaw Pact, or NATO? NATO. Which country was split into North and South after World War II, leading to tensions that resulted in war in 1950? Korea, Germany, or Vietnam? Korea. What was the name of the Soviet-backed alliance formed in response to NATO? Warsaw Pact, Eastern Bloc, or Soviet Defence Union? Warsaw Pact. After World War II, Japan adopted a new constitution that allowed Japan to rebuild its military strength, give the emperor control over government, or set a constitutional monarchy, renounced war. Set a constitutional monarchy and renounced war. What major political shift occurred in China shortly after World War II? The Communist Party took over, it became a neutral state in world politics, or the Japanese regained control? The Communist Party took over. What major economic and industrial reforms were introduced in West Germany after World War II, leading to rapid economic recovery? The economic miracle, the Marshall Plan, or the German Reconstruction Act? The economic miracle. What was the main reason for the creation of the European Coal and Steel Community in 1951? To rebuild colonial empires, to help Germany pay for reparations, or to prevent future wars by integrating European economies? To prevent future wars by integrating European economies. What significant land division in Europe became a symbol of the Cold War after World War II? The Berlin Wall, the Iron Curtain, or the Rhine border? The Berlin Wall. What was the purpose of the Nuremberg trials after World War II? Establish a new government in Germany, to prosecute Nazi leaders for war crimes, or to draft a peace treaty with allies? To prosecute Nazi leaders for war crimes. Which Asian country gained independence from British rule in 1947 as a direct result of post-World War II decolonialisation? Vietnam, Indonesia, or India? India. What was the GI Bill introduced in the USA after World War II? Financial aid to returning American soldiers, military strategy for handling future wars, or send American troops to rebuild Europe? Financial aid to returning American soldiers. What happened to Eastern European countries under Soviet influence after World War II? Fell under communist rule as satellite states, they became democratic nations, or they joined NATO? Fell under communist rule as satellite states. Which Asian city suffered heavy war damage but transformed into a major global financial centre in the post-war years? Shanghai, Tokyo, or Bangkok? Tokyo. The Bretton Woods Agreement of 1944, implemented after World War II, led to the creation of the United Nations Economic Council, International Monetary Fund and World Bank, or the World Trade Organization? International Monetary Fund and World Bank. What was the main economic impact of World War II on the United States? It made the US the world's largest economic power, it led to severe economic recession, or it led to widespread poverty and inflation? It made the US the world's largest economic power. And your last one. What was the purpose of the Tokyo War Crimes Tribunal after World War II? Prosecute Japanese leaders for war crimes, to negotiate peace with Japan, or to decide Japan's future government structure? To prosecute Japanese leaders for war crimes. So, how did you do today? Drop your score in the comments below, and of course, like and subscribe so you get notified every time we post a new quiz. And join us next time on Quiz Time.